painting. I've kind of been MIA for what, like 2 weeks, ever since the 30 paintings in 30 days stopped. And I was proud to say I actually finished the 30 paintings in 30 days, and I did intend to do this little live video before I basically went MIA, but I was exhausted at the end of those 30 days, and I needed some recovery time. Hey Peggy! I needed some recovery time, and then last week my kids had fall break, so I took some fall break. So I just kind of want to share with you guys a little bit about some of the lessons I learned, and also the results from 30 paintings in 30 days. And I'm really just beyond thrilled with the support and all of the the stories and everything that kind of came out of the 30 paintings in 30 days of rescue animals. I was so just thrilled about it that over the last 2 weeks I'm thinking about, how can I do this again? How can I help more? And so I've got some ideas in January, and that I'm going to implement. I've already reached out to organizations to so that I could donate to them and help support them. So it's just thrilling. So and then so because of the 30 paintings in 30 days and all of the giving that you guys have done, and purchasing the paintings and bidding on them and sharing and everything, because of your help, this little small business, this little artist is going to get to write a $400 check to the Greater Huntsville Humane Society. You got, and I'm getting goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps because that is just phenomenal. It's beyond what I thought was possible. So thank you. You guys are just amazing. So I didn't think I'd get all this emotional, but but some of the lessons learned I got from this is, man, 30 days of painting, that was tough. And if I can get through that, I can do anything. And so there's one thing that I've been putting off and thinking about, and just like, God, I don't know if I could do that. And it's diet related. And my my mom, she had diabetes, and because she changed her diet, she is overcoming the need for medicine. And she also had breast cancer. She's overcome that. My grandmother died of breast cancer. My grandfather died of colon cancer. Papa died of lung cancer. And so like all this crap is going on, or stuff has been going on, and that's been years and years and years in the build. So anyway, my mom changed her diet, and she got rid of sugar and got rid of breads and wheats and all that, which I've been off of breads and wheats. But anyway, so I never thought I could give up sugar, and I am now on day 10 sugar-free. And the most I get is maybe like 15 grams of sugar a day. That's something I didn't think I could do before I did this 30 paintings in 30 days. And it's totally not related to painting, but it's related to an overall lifestyle change that I've been wanting to make better health for myself. And so it's just amazing what one thing, like 30 paintings in 30 days, can do to my overall view of what I can do. So I'm just, who knew? Who knew? So that was one of the outcomes. The other, just kind of, so I've got, like, I guess 3. One has changed my overall health perspective. It's changed my view on how I can help with my art, and so I'm going to make plans for those in January to do this again. I'm going to do again 30 paintings in 30 days with a different twist. I'm not going to do rescue animals. I'm going to do something else. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to probably announce that next month so I can start getting those stories, because one of the lessons learned is time management. 30 paintings in 30 days was very tough. It was very tough, and because I had kids, I've got dogs, I've got a husband that travels, and then I had 2 other art shows, Montesano Art Festival and HOTT Dog Show, and then this month I'm doing another one, and next month I'm doing another one. So and then add in my commissions. Time management was huge. So one of the things I'm going to start doing for the January one is I'm going to start prepping in December. Huge. The other kind of time management thing, and you might hear her kind of ping on after I say this, Alexa. She rocks because I got her as a Christmas present, I guess, last year. Yeah, she's blue right now. Now she's giving me the Washington Reports post. I don't know why. But anyway, I would come in and tell her to play some music. I would come in and say, set an alarm, because there were certain times I only had about 30 minutes to actually paint, and at any given segment before something would happen, or I'd have like an hour. And so during those 30 minutes or an hour, I had 100% focus on that painting, and I couldn't turn on Netflix. I couldn't turn on anything like that. It was 100% focus. And and I've got my iPad here with my little notes and stuff. So iPad's the bomb too. So yeah, I set my alarm and I took frequent breaks, because one of the things that I think people don't really understand, and I recognized this when I was at the, I think it was HOTC dog show. I had a kid come up to me, and my mom wants to know if you could paint my dog right now. And I'm sitting there thinking, no. But I didn't say that because it was just like, no, I take the picture home and I go and I paint it, because it does require more concentration than really what I'm exuding right now. And he was, oh, okay. So it's like a disappointment that I couldn't do it like then and there. And I kind of think that maybe I'm disillusioning a little bit what I'm fully capable of, in that these paintings, it takes a great deal of concentration. And Sophie's kind of knocking at the camera. Hey, Sophie. And and at each session, it is fairly exhausting, because I think if you think about how the brain works, you know, you've heard of the book Drawing from the Right Side of the Brain. You're actually flipping to the right side of the brain to get the artistic side, which is, you know, I want to make it loose, I want brush strokey, I want, you know, highlights, there's a blank space here, there's this here, and that's my right side. And then on my left side, I'm thinking, okay, so I want to set this in the background, so I got to use a cool color. I want to bring this forward, so I got to use a warm color. I'm not ready to go there. And so it's bouncing back and forth, and it's frankly, it can be exhausting. At the end of the day, I was asleep by 9 o'clock every single time, and sometimes even 8:30, because it was just mentally exhausting. But it's a great exercise in, you know, building that brain capacity, I guess, to be able to switch back and forth as quickly like that. So normally I don't do that. Normally for my commissions, I take my time. It's not something that I know I need to produce by the end of the day and do 2 hours of marketing for it. I don't need to do that for my commissions. My commissions, I get to take my time, I get to build layer upon layer, and I get to analyze it more. I mean, I've had like one commission done for 2 weeks, but I'm sitting there staring at it thinking, what could I push more? What could I make better? So that's, I think one of the big lessons learned here is, you know, it just, I got to be more prepared next time to switch back and forth more quickly and more accurately. Because what you guys don't know is there was a couple that I just threw in the trash, and so I had to start all over that day. And when I look back, and I posted a couple of them on like some internal like artist groups that I belong to, and because I was pissed, I was just pissed I couldn't save this painting, and I loved the story about the dog, and I really wanted to paint it because of the story. But the picture was bad, the reference was bad, and I couldn't decipher where the neck started and where it ended. And when I tried to just say, okay, forget the picture, I'm going to go on what I know to be true about a dog's anatomy. And so I went with that, and it was just like, just crap. It made me so mad. So, and that was a big part of this lessons learned, is that I am not going to produce something that's crap. And other people might be fine with it, but if it's not to the quality that I expect, it's not leaving my house. It'll go ripped up into the dumpster. So, but so yeah, when that kid came up to me at that our HOTC dog show and, can you paint my dog today? My mom wants to know. I was just like, oh, are you freaking kidding me? But I didn't say that. But I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows that, 15 years ago, there was no way I would have been able to like paint a face like that and a dog like that in a day. Never. Would not have happened. And frankly, there were times I was like looking at the stuff going, can I do this? Can I pull this off? And I'd pray about it, and I would think about it the whole time I'm painting it, and it would just take over. And I think that's I don't know what to think about that, but I think God's working through me to serve a greater purpose. So I'll get all teary-eyed on that one again. I think I hit on about 3 or 4 of those. Quality over quantity. I wanted to make sure that I didn't, like I said, nothing crappy is going to leave this house. I wanted to be proud of the pieces, and people to say, yeah, this is a piece by Stephanie Weaver, Art for Paws, and she did it for my rescue animal. Let me tell you the story. That's what I wanted people to tell, when they get these paintings. And most of them are ready to be shipped. I've got some over here that are not fully dry, so I can't do anything with them just yet. But and then I also want to kind of share with you why I picked some of the stories that I did, because it was more important to me. Not that I didn't care if the dog was cute. I didn't care if Pickle, he only had 2 teeth. I didn't care. I was looking for the story. And because the story is the personality of the dog, or the cat, it's the personality of the, just kind of showing that they can overcome. And I also wanted to just make sure that it was known that the owners of these animals were just amazing, because they didn't care what the dog or cat looked like either. They saw what they saw in their eyes and what they saw in their expression. So that was way more important to me. And there was a lot of stories, all the stories were different. And I picked them because of their differences. The one labeled Abandoned, that one was Napoleon, Trisha's cat. It was abandoned when it was little. That's pretty much typical in a college town, is typical of a lot of the cat and dog stories in a college town, because college kids think, oh, I want an animal, I am an adult now, I'm going to take care of it, blah, blah, blah. And then they don't realize, you got to pay vet bills. Well, every time you go to the vet, you can pretty much guarantee $200 is gone. You got to take care of it when you go on spring break. Who's going to take care of it? Mom and dad are in another state, and so they don't think about that sort of stuff. And I wanted, each one of these stories is going to lead to something that I'm going to write about, and it's lessons learned. Another, which one was it? Another one, Tater. Tater was on death row. He had an hour to go before he was going to be euthanized, and he was saved. And the lady that fostered him didn't know if he was going to stay with her forever. And then when she prayed about it, within an hour she got a phone call saying, I would like Tater to be a service dog. And so he became a PTSD service dog. I mean, these things, every animal, every person has a purpose. And that's kind of one of the reasons I picked every single one of these stories. Every one of them are different. But every one of them is universally true. You know what I mean? And that's why I got so pissed that I couldn't paint one of the dogs. But I'm going to reach out to that owner because it's still kind of important to me. I don't like giving up, so I want to be able to paint that one. But anyway, in blue, the blue pit from California, that one particularly struck me. I picked it out even before we all began, and I picked it out because this lady from Alabama, found a blue pit in California, and she flew him home to here in Alabama. And when I think the day that I painted that, there was either Irma, there was either the tragedy in Houston, Puerto Rico, or Florida. There's been a lot of stuff going on. But when I was painting it, I was thinking about this really sets the tone for what people need to be doing right now. If you're looking for an animal, look in Florida, Houston area, or Texas, or Puerto Rico. There are abandoned dogs and cats all over the place down there that are looking for homes. And so like this lady, she went to California to bring this dog. You can do the same thing. There's nothing stopping you. And you would help those organizations a great deal. So like I said, every one of these animals I picked for a purpose. Yeah, just kind of looking around. Let me show you guys around here because my room is really, really cool. And okay, here you go. So here, let me flip you around 1 second. Okay. So here you can see these are all ones that are ready to ship. Pretty cool. And then I had to build more shelves to show these. But it's really neat. And that kind of brings me to the why I paint dogs and cats. And here's a commission I'm working on. It's coming along. I'm taking my time with that. Kind of reason why I paint dogs and cats. I actually had an artist pretty snottily ask me, "Is that all you paint?" Like that sort of thing. And it's not all that I paint. And actually, when I started 15, 16 years ago, I painted a lot of landscapes. Bacon. I drew I was drawn to painting glass because I love the reflection and I love the light of it all. And then I painted my first dog, Peanut, and it was awful painting. At least I thought it was good at the time. I hung up and everything. Bacon, he's not happy that Cookie gets to eat. But anyway, so I do paint other things. Do I enjoy them as much? No. And but I have done commissions where I've painted landscapes for people that represent their vacation, and that I think is pretty cool. As long as it has meaning behind it, I'll paint it. But I don't paint adults. I don't enjoy it. I think adults, we all walk around with masks on our face, and when I see the look in a lot of people's eyes that are that are posed and they're just smiling for the camera, there's no heart in that. They're dead in the eyes, and I don't. That's the reason why I don't. But if it's a meaningful painting or a meaningful picture where there's life and love in it, I'll paint it. Like there's paintings of the mother and the child where they're looking at each other. You can see and you can feel the emotion in that I'll paint. So it has to have meaning. I'm not going to paint a house. I mean, it's brick and mortar. There's no emotion there for me. And yeah. So anyway, one of the reasons I also kind of paint dogs and cats and children is because you can see the emotion in their eyes. And that took me back to when I was in grad school. I went to Auschwitz, and there's a particular room that they have. I got dog hair flying everywhere. There's a particular room that they have where you. Hold on 1 second. Bacon, stop. Come here. Bacon, come on. Leave her alone. She's got to eat. All right, you can come in here with me. Okay. So anyway, gotta let the cat eat in peace. So anyway, with when I went to the room in Auschwitz, the Nazis would take pictures of the captives before or after they shaved their heads. And they were all black and white pictures, and you could see the emotion in their faces. You could see the anger, the confusion, the sorrow, and it just struck me. There was a time where nobody was posed. They didn't know what was going on. And when I look at cats and dogs and the pictures that they have, I want to make sure that I capture that. And that's why my room is just filled with it. So, do I just paint dogs and cats? I think I do a little bit more than that. Yeah. Excuse me one second. So, and I've had artists come to me, well, that's got to be a really good business. You know what? If you don't enjoy something, don't freaking do it. So, I love what I do. And, I've had artists criticize me for it because they just, they don't get it. They don't get why I do this. They don't understand, and, like, I don't understand abstract art, I'll be honest. But they just don't understand the level of emotion and attachment that I have to animals. I'm weird. I need tissues. But anyway, so no, I just don't paint animals. I paint the emotion, I paint the love that's in it. So, Sophie's calling at me like, oh my god, are you okay? Yeah. So, alright, that was one of the questions. But they were like, yeah, this must be a really good business. I should paint cats and dogs. And I'm just sitting there thinking, and I even tell them, I'm like, if you paint 30 dogs and cats, or 40 dogs and cats, and you still love it at the end of the day or the end of that time period, yeah, you should paint them. But if you're painting them for money, you're going to hate it. You're going to hate it, and it's going to show. And, so I tell some artists that, you know, I've mentored a couple, and I find your passion, and it will show. I know a really good artist that all he paints is clouds, and they are freaking phenomenal because he sees God and light in the clouds. That's another passion. And so I'm just, you know, it's just amazes me. But anyway, so that was one of the questions. And then, why did you pick the dogs and cats that I painted? I answered that one. Why do I tone the overall canvas? So you guys probably watched the videos where I quickly just tone the overall canvas. The whole purpose of that is it allows me to quickly get the basic tone of the fur and skin that, or the fur that, actually in skin tone that I see in the subjects. So I paint that first, so as I layer the other layers on, if I miss a spot, it's not really going to come in, you know, be known. It's not going to come blaring through as white. And it's just a way to quickly kind of get something on the canvas. And then one of the other questions was, do I plan to do it again? And the answer to that is darn right. I am definitely going to do it again. I know in January I'm going to have a different focus. It's going to be, it's still going to be rescue animals, but it's going to be very particular group. And so that will be pretty cool. And I think you guys, a lot of that is going to be an education on this whole other segment of rescue animals that aren't really well known. So, yeah, I'm really excited about that. And next, I'm going to do another little live thing on October 16th, so you guys kind of chime in about there. I'm probably going to do it around about noon, where I'm going to be making another call for muses. Yay! And so, if you are subscribing to my newsletter, you'll be one of the first to know what's going to come out on the 16th. Whoop! Hey, Sophie. And, So if you haven't subscribed to my newsletter, I'll leave a link in this, and you can subscribe to that and kind of get a heads up on what's coming up and what's happened. And yeah, and just leave me with any questions that you might have, and I'll try to answer them the best I can. And but yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys so much for all the encouragement. I mean, there were days that I just wanted to skip it. I was tired. This was mentally and physically exhausting. And I mean, I would have like a lacrosse ball just sitting there. I slept with a lacrosse ball actually on my back at one point because there was a big knot in my back from where I was like this all the time. And so I really appreciate the encouragement and you guys sharing all the posts and everything. So I'm definitely going to do this again. The response was phenomenal. The heart in it was phenomenal, and oh, I can't say enough good things about it. So thank you guys. Yeah, feel free to leave me any questions, ideas for future 30 and 30 paintings, because I do plan on doing this again. It was just I'm speechless. It was so many things. So thank you. You guys have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye.